moving on to college. Uh, so, what'd you do after leaving the Marines? Did you immediately come here, or did you go somewhere else?
Right, I came back here, like my last day was June 29th. I had some terminal leave built up, so I was actually here at the beginning of May and went ahead and started applying to schools and got accepted here and started in the fall.
Okay. Uh, so, is it any different being a civilian? Again, I guess I should say.
Yes, very much so. I was a sergeant when I got out, so I had a lot of responsibility, and it's just a different feeling because you walk in every day. Your Marines tell you good morning, good afternoon. As you're in charge, and here I'm just a regular person walking by with everybody else.
All right. So, was the transition difficult? Was it just easy, or?
It's been difficult as far as I don't have a lot of the common interests that most people here do.
Okay.
Just based off of I relate more with veterans, I would say. But other than that, it hasn't been too bad.
So, why'd you decide to come back to college?
Well, I have a 5-year-old son, so figured I can't really yell at him about going to school and going to college if I don't have a degree myself, and really I want to better my own future. So.
Okay. So, why'd you choose to come back to USCA, or come to USCA?
I looked at several different schools. I applied to Lander, Augusta University, but for the nursing program at USC Aiken, it's pretty much top of the top, so I wanted to do it here.
So you're majoring in nursing, you said?
Correct.
Why nursing?
Well, I figured after 5 surgeries, if I'm going to be in the hospital, I might as well make some money out of it this time.
Fair enough. So for most students, starting college is a bit of an adjustment. Is it an adjustment for you?
Extremely. Well, in the Marine Corps, we had our school, and then I did a lot of follow-on training because in the IT field, you have to stay up to date with all your certifications. So I had done following on school, and I did some college in the Marine Corps, nothing compared to, a real university. But it has been a big difference as far as everything's online and homework. You have a couple different websites you have to go to, so it's hard staying on track of everything. And I can speak from experience of working a full-time job. Being a college student is a full-time job.
Okay. So do you think that USCA is a good place to be a student veteran?
Definitely. I was welcomed, open-armed into the veterans building here at their office. Spoke with several different people. The guy in charge actually is the one who walked over and got me accepted without any type of conditions. So
really?
They've been great. I go there all the time, pretty much once a day.
Okay. So could you talk about your present family? Anything different, or?
Well, my son was here in North Augusta, so moving back here, I've been able to spend a lot more time with him. So it's been a lot better.
Okay. What do you like to do in your free time?
Work out. Really, it's been that transition part has been hard as far as trying to find enough time to balance school, homework, have some type of social life, go to the gym, get my son 3 or 4 nights a week. So that's pretty much every day for me.
So where do you see yourself in the next 4 to 5 years?
Hopefully working at University Hospital. I want to be a nurse anesthetist, so that would be my specialty. So.
You plan on marrying or?
I'm divorced, so I don't
Okay.
know if a second marriage is in my future, but I don't think it's out of the question.
Do you want to talk about your marriage? Not really.
As far as a military standpoint or aspect, it's very difficult to. I can't speak for other branches, but I know for the Marine Corps, it's not easy to be a Marine Corps spouse. As far as much training and the hours we have to work, never home, always gone. The Marine Corps, they always told me if they wanted you to have a wife, they would issue you one. So.
Okay. So, is there anything else you'd like to say before we wrap things up?
I think that's about it.
All right. Well, thanks for your time, Thomas, and thank you for your service.
Thank you.
My name is Charles Babineau. I am interviewing Thomas Seigler. Today is Wednesday, October 25th at 1:30, and we're at the Ruth Patrick Science Education Center. So, just start off with simple stuff. So, when and where were you born?
I was born in Greenwood, South Carolina, September 14th, 1993.
Okay. So did you grow up there? Or?
I actually grew up in McCormick, well, up until I was 6, and then we moved to North Augusta.
Okay. And why'd you move? Just...
My parents got jobs in Augusta and Graniteville at the Bridgestone plants where my dad worked at, so
Okay.
relocated here.
What was North Augusta like? Anything like noteworthy or?
It's definitely bigger. Coming from McCormick, it's a very small town.
Okay.
So North Augusta is a small town as well, but a lot bigger
Yeah.
than McCormick. So.
Okay. So what was your family like? Anything like interesting? Any siblings?
I'm an only child.
Okay.
My parents had me when they were very young. My mom was 16. My dad was 16 as well. So very, very young. We all grew up together, essentially. So.
Wow. So what high school did you go to?
I went to North Augusta. Graduated in 2011.
Okay. So did you do anything like extracurricular, like?
I
track?
played football, baseball, and ran track for North Augusta. I went to Fox Creek in Edgefield for my sophomore year and then returned back to North Augusta.
What was that? You just felt like moving?
I wasn't doing that well at North Augusta actually, so I
Okay.
decided to try and see if Fox Creek could fix my disciplinary issues, and it did not. So.
Oh, okay. So after you graduated, did you go straight to college, or did you join the military? Or?
I graduated. Before graduation, I had been in the DEP program, and that was for the Marine Corps. And you pretty much just go to the recruiter's office, it's basically a workup to get you ready for boot camp.
Okay.
And I started that probably in January of 11. And I went to boot camp September 19th, so 5 days after I turned 18.
Okay. So you just said you were 18 when you joined the Marines.
Right.
And why was the Marines?
To be honest with you, I wanted to join the Army because my grandfather was in the Army and retired from the Army, so I had known that my whole life. I went to the Army recruiter. He had his feet on the desk, laid back. It's kind of like you can join, we can take you or not, either way. And the Marine Corps recruiter came to my house, dressed blues, and it was all pretty much a wrap after that. I was ready.
Much more formal.
Right, very, very much more professional, and
Yeah.
kind of embodied the military more than I thought the Army recruiter did.
Yeah, it doesn't seem very military-like.
Not at all, but it's a difference in branches. The Army's got 1 million, and the Marine Corps' got 200,000.
Yeah. So, what was, when you decided to join the Marines, what was your family's reaction?
My dad was ecstatic. You know, he couldn't wait. My mom a little more hesitant. Just normal worries, but they were all pretty excited.
So, when you got to boot camp, what was it like? You went to Parris Island, right?
Right, I did. I went to Parris Island. It was terrifying, extremely intense. I mean, from the time you got on the bus to enter through Parris Island, your head has to be down. You can't look around. It's pitch black. I mean, I couldn't even tell you what time it was. I'm assuming early morning, before the sun had rose.
Okay.
And you're on a bus with a bunch of people. You have no clue. You have to look down. You finally get there, step out, go to the yellow footprints, and they pretty much start the screaming and stuff at that point. So.
Okay. So, what was your drill instructor? What was your drill instructor like?
I had 4 drill instructors. Originally, it started off as 3. We had a senior drill instructor and his 2 drill instructors. It ended up happening that one of the other drill instructors got injured, so one of mine had to fill in, and in turn we received 2 more. So ended up with 4 gunnery sergeants, which on average they've been in for about 15 years, so they knew lots of games to play, and it was a good time.
So, in your opinion, what was the hardest part of boot camp?
Probably the mental part was. Physically, I was in decent shape, but they can make you physically strong. Just the mental aspect of the mind games and trying to wrap your head around it's all just one big mind game. If you can do that, you'll survive. But
all right. Do you think boot camp changed you a lot?
I'd say so. I mean, their job is to brainwash you, so they want to break you down and build you back up into what a Marine is supposed to be, and they definitely do that. They instill pride in you, and they tell you every day that you're going to be the best. So if you get told something over and over again, eventually you buy in.
Okay. So, did you have any other training after boot camp? Like, did you specialize?
I did. I wasn't exactly sure what my job was going to be, because when you originally enlist, I was told that, hey, you were going to have some type of computer job, possibly. I said, okay. So I signed the contract. The contract was like 28XX. You don't get your MOS specialty until you graduate the school. So I left from Parris Island, went to do SOI, which is the infantry training at Lejeune in North Carolina, and then from there I left and went to my specialty school in 29 Palms, California.
So, when you were given an MOS, you were assigned to the Tactical Air Command Squadron?
Right, Marine Tactical Air Command Squadron 28, which is in Cherry Point at Marine Corps Air Station, Cherry Point, North Carolina.
Okay. So, what kind of activities did you do?
So, I worked for the S6, which is the maintenance section. Our job varied from getting a box of parts, computer parts, and building an entire server. And one day, the next day you could be installing an air conditioning unit on a Humvee. So it varied a lot. When I first got there, I was doing a bunch of nothing, making Cat 5, and I didn't know anything, because you learn from the schoolhouse, but you don't really learn anything until you get on-job training. So
Yeah, like job experience.
exactly.
Okay. Did you have like a specific job to do, or?
Right, so my MOS was a 5974, which really, like I said, it involves TBMCS, which is Theater Battlement Management Core System, and it's a server suite that we build from the bottom, and it tracks all of our friendly and foe aircraft and troops. So we know who we have on the ground and in the air. That way it deconflicts all the airspace, so we're not firing rounds at friendly troops.
Okay. So, how long were you with this unit?
From May of 2013 until June of 2017.
So basically, the entire of your military career.
Right.
Okay. So, well, is there anything else from your military service that you'd like to tell us about?
Well, I personally, I didn't go to Afghanistan or Iraq. I got to go to Germany and Prague
Oh.
in the Czech Republic for a combined endeavor exercise, which was roughly like 118 different nations all met in Germany to see if all of our comm assets could talk. So we wanted to see if we could plug in a Cat5 cable or a fiber optic cable from Greece and talk to our systems. It was pretty much like a NATO thing.
Okay.
So I don't have PTSD or any type of issues,
Okay, well,
but I do think that that is a bad stigmatism that
Mhm.
people get if they think you're in the Marine Corps or any type of
any
veteran, you must have PTSD. So that's one thing I would like to get out there.
Okay. So, when did you leave the military? It was this year?
Right, it was June 29th of this year was my last official day.
Okay. Why'd you leave?
I actually was medically discharged. I re-enlisted, got orders to Okinawa, shipped everything, all my stuff was gone. I was picking up my plane tickets and gonna check in there, and my forearm had been hurting, so I'd gotten an x-ray and it came back at normal. And it turned out there was a tumor, and I had to do a bunch of surgeries and everything else, so my wrist won't bend fully anymore, so I can't do the pull-ups that the Marine Corps requires you to do.
Wow, that's... Alright, so